Hey, this is Kathy from Kathy Cooks For You, and welcome to my kitchen, and also welcome back to Asian Basics. It is the same day as my taping of my first video, which showed you just things I keep in my pantry at all times. And now I want to show you just something that I came across this morning. And you know, I can't be the only one that just tears out magazine pieces of paper and keeps recipes and never uses them. Well, I have a stack about this big, and this one's over a year old. And you know, I thought I'm gonna go through them and maybe throw away the ones I don't want in there. And maybe, just maybe once a month, I'll pick one of those and try. And then I taped the episode that you just watched prior to this one on all the Asian items that I keep in my house. And this one was in there, and it's called Spicy Pork Noodles with Scallions and Bok Choy. Now, here's the thing. It asked for scallions. I always have scallions. It was pork, and I thought, hey, I have got some, just a clump like this of frozen pulled pork in my freezer. And it asked for rice sticks. This is the second rice pasta that I told you that I would have on hand, always the thicker one first. So I had those, and then the ingredients were just soy sauce and, you know, some chicken broth and some garlic. Oh, and it asked for bok choy. Well, I don't have any bok choy. I do have purple. I had a purple cabbage, but I'm too lazy tonight to chop that up really fine. Bok choy is a much softer in texture cabbage and wilts really easily. It's kind of in between a lettuce and a cabbage. But I do have this. I have one of those salad kits that is mostly cabbage based. And since I'm feeling lazy, I could just use this instead of the bok choy. And let's see, what else did this recipe have? Oh, and the one thing that I didn't have, because I don't keep a lot of extra Asian, all these extra things on hand. It says you need a 1/4 cup of chili bean sauce, or you can substitute it with chili garlic sauce. I got my chili garlic sauce, and then it says see tip, and I go over to the tip, and it tells me that chili bean sauce is basically chili garlic sauce with fermented beans, fermented soybeans, which is miso, and a broad bean that's mashed in it. And so if I wanted to, I could go in my fridge and I could get out my miso, but I don't want to do that because that's more advanced, and miso is not something that a beginner usually uses. Maybe we will a little bit later on. So we are going to get this going, and you are going to see how just having these ingredients on hand, and when you don't have some, you can substitute. If you don't have any cabbage product, then just look and see, well, what vegetable do I have that I could use? Well, I got some carrots, or maybe, you know, a zucchini in there that needs to be used up, whatever. Some pineapple. Pineapple and pork go really good together. So, you know, you can switch things up. So let's get going on this recipe, and you are just going to be thrilled. So our first thing we have in here that I'm actually following the directions except for one thing. It asks for 2 cups of chicken broth, and it asks for cornstarch too. So I know it's gonna thicken and create a good, you know, kind of sauce. And then I have my 3 tablespoons of soy sauce in here too. But because my bag of salad does have a little bit of green leaf lettuce, I am holding out a 1/4 cup of the chicken broth, because that little bit of green leaf lettuce is gonna wilt down and, you know, just create water. It'll be fine, no one will even see it, but it is gonna add some water. So that's why I took out a 1/4 cup of broth, and I have it over to the side just in case I want to add it if I think it's too thick. And we are gonna add 1 teaspoon of sugar to this. And am I gonna measure it? All right, to our gorgeous all-clad pan here, we are gonna put a tablespoon of oil down. I have a very hot pan. This is Asian cooking. And then we're gonna put our ginger in there. You got a high smoke point. Turn it down slightly. We're gonna add our ginger, and there's a little oil in the ginger also. Okay, browning a little. Took it off the heat just to get it all stirred in. And now I'm gonna add my bag of salad. We're just gonna let this cook a bit. Don't worry about your ginger clumping. Once we get the sauce in there, it'll loosen up. And mine was frozen. So we have kale in here, 2 kinds of cabbage, and a little green leaf lettuce. Okay, the show must go on even when your alarms are going off. I actually had 2 separate fire alarms going off. Oopsies. That's very common in Asian food. I'm putting in my green onions there, and I'm gonna get those all cooked in. You will be able to find the amounts for these items down in the bottom, but it's very flexible, so don't stress if you don't have enough green onions. You can always just make do. I take it off the burner there just to get a few ingredients off to the side because I don't want to leave it on a high burner without me stirring it. So that is how I'm taking care of that problem. Back on the burner, back to stirring, and we are going to add in our chili garlic sauce. We're going to get that all mixed in there, and that's going to help loosen up that garlic and that ginger that was kind of sticking together. We're going to add our pulled pork. Now I had quite a bit of pulled pork. I'm not adding it all, and this pulled pork was mojo flavored for Cubans. So who cares, right? It's gonna taste delicious. I know it is. So we're just getting that all broken up and stirred in there and warming. And now our chicken broth with our soy sauce. Oh, it's starting to come together. And we are also adding in our cornstarch that I had put some water in to make sure all the lumps were out. And we're getting that in there too. That's gonna thicken our sauce just enough. Oh, this meal was delicious and so easy. All right, here we go with our soaked angel hair rice noodles. Now I switched to a different kind of utensil there, my tongs, and you'll notice that it's really hard to work in the vegetables. See how the noodles just all clump together? I'm really not sure what an Asian chef does in this situation, but I'll show you what I do here in a second. I'm actually going to get my trusty scissors and break them up a bit. And doing that just makes it a little easier to incorporate the vegetables into the pasta, so it's not like just a big bird's nest is what it kind of seems like. Guys, this couldn't have been simpler. Using that bag of salad made it so all I had to do was chop some scallions and cilantro, which is super easy. And look, we have a meal. These angel hair pasta, you just have to soak them in warm water and then putting them into your sauce here. They're soaking up the rest of the juice. Absolutely incredible, super easy, and it's a great weeknight meal. Now let's get to the finish. We are going to turn off the heat and finish this fresh with cilantro and fresh scallions. And then you also, when you serve it with some limes. Man, the limes are like salt. It's just added deliciousness to that meal. So you can squeeze it on now or put the limes on people's plates. And there you have it. An amazing Asian dish that took minutes to make. Thanks for watching Kathy Cooks For You. Please subscribe below.